Hello and a very warm welcome everybody, it's me Spuds, and here we are back in our current city of Hexagiggle, the 16GB city, where we see how much of a laugh we can have with just 16GB of RAM. Now, there won't be any building this week, as I promised at the end of last episodes. We will be just doing a quick run through of the mod list this week. Probably take us about 15-20 minutes, I'm guessing, because there's about 50-ish mods to run through, so yeah. So it will be a very much a TDLR version of it. So. Now, some of you may be wondering why 16GB of RAM I'm limiting the thing to, so a couple of reasons for that. First and foremost, just before Christmas I had my old computer went pop on me, the old lappy, so yeah, had to get a new one. That new one is 16GB of RAM, and it'd be nice to keep that kind of warranty fresh for 6 months or so. Second reason, because we're uploading the save and making it available for folks, there's no point making that available if, you know, you've got to have 32 or 64GB of RAM to just run the save. Most folks out there who've got an off-the-shelf gaming PC will have, you know, 16GB of RAM, so there's that as well. And partly to dispel a myth that I see online all the time in forums, where people post the question, you know, what you need RAM wise to get into it, and people are always saying, oh yeah, you need a minimum of 32GB to get into modding and detail, and it's just not true. If you use a bit of common sense and some min-max thinking and go for your big impact mods, you can still run about, well, I think we're running about over 50 mods and about 750 assets, so yeah, you can run more than you think with 16 gig. So, and just before we do jump into the list, some general advice for modding. Possibly somebody out there might be watching this who's never modded before, and even for those of us who are more familiar with modding, it's still some good advice kind of thing. So use your common sense, read everything on a mod page, look at the description properly, look at when it was last updated, maybe possibly even check the comments. Some mods require things like they have to be enabled before you hit new game. Some mods you enable them and you have to load into the game, then quit out and then load back in again, for example. So yeah, make sure you read everything properly, and check for dependencies as well. Yeah, quite a lot of mods, if not most of them, require mods that are called dependencies, and they won't work without them. So they would be things like Harmony, Extended Managers Library, Patch Loader, Custom Animation Loader, things like that. And you make sure you got those loaded. So make sure you got your dependencies, make sure you checked everything, you've read everything properly. But also, whatever you do with modding, never, ever, ever, for crying out loud, whatever you do, I can't stress this enough, never, ever, ever sub or unsub to something while you've got an active save running. It will corrupt that save file instantly. So yeah, never ever do that. Never sub to something while you've got the game running. When you're in the menu system and whatever, yeah, that's fine. But when you've got an actual save loaded, yeah, never ever sub or unsub to anything, because that'll kill your game straight dead. Right, with that, let's jump in, shall we? Right, let's have a look at the list, shall we? First up, Daylight Classic. Not much to say about this, just resets all the graphical options back to the pre-After Dark update. Procedural objects, yeah, oof, probably the biggest bang for your buck in terms of how much a mod can actually do. Great mod. If you don't know what it does, what it basically does is it converts almost any object in the game back into kind of a wireframe model and gives you an editing suite that you can then manipulate that in all kinds of interesting and weird ways, and had some mundane ways, and we'll probably be using the more mundane ways, and mostly be using that for things like trimming decals like we did in the last episode. We might do a little bit of building squishing as well, but yeah, really great mod. Movie. I consider this to be the absolute GOAT of mods. This is absolutely the all-time greatest mod that ever was made. You can move stuff around with it, you can move stuff up and down with it, you can align stuff, you can copy and paste stuff, you can import and export between saves. It's such a game changer from the vanilla game. Move It. So yeah, love Move It. TMPA, Traffic Manager President's Edition. This is what we use to basically make traffic sit up and beg in the game. It allows you to set all kinds of traffic rules, from traffic lights to yield signs and giveaways to lane priorities, lane restrictions, all kinds of stuff, speed restrictions, anything you can think of that would be a rule of the road, you can set with Traffic Manager. So yeah, great mod. Rico Revisited. This is what we basically use to actually place down buildings by hand rather than use zoning. Used to be two mods. Used to be ploppable Rico and ploppable plop the growables back in the day. Kind of been combined these days. But if you are going to use this mod, I'll just point out one quick little thing. If I go into the growable options, down here, you definitely want these two things checked. Make all plopped growables historical, Rico and non-Rico buildings. What that basically means is if you plop a building down, there's nothing worse than you spend time looking for a nice building that will just suit an area. You pick that building, you put it down, and then the game decides to level it up and it changes to something else that isn't what you picked. So marking it historical will stop that happening. So yeah, great mod. Instant return to desktop. Nothing to say about that really, apart from it instantly returns you to desktop. So it stops that little wait that you have when you quit out. Harmony, as we were talking earlier, that's one of those dependency mods. I would guess probably about half of this list would actually require Harmony as a dependency mod. Next one down, extended error report. Now this is one of those mods I recommend anybody who's getting into modding gets. If you get, say, something like a null reference error, or what's the other one, system array error, and they don't tell you anything other than that, generally this mod will also give you a little bit more information beyond that might tell you which asset or mod it is that's misbehaving. So yeah, very, very useful mod, I think. Behind it, that's this magnifying glass on the toolbar here. Basically it's an in-game search engine, and you can set all kinds of useful filters to help you search through and find the different things you've picked off the workshop and through your vanilla stuff, because let's face it, not all of the menus are exactly optimized and set out in the best way in the game, as it were. Picker, this is kind of a mini search thing. This is this little Tikva Petty looking thing, and that just allows you to click on that and then click on any item you see in the game, and it just quick selects it for you if it's something on your screen, as it were. Node controller, yeah, great one, this one. If I actually come out the options for a second, you see how we've got some wider curves on this node, and we've sharpened up this node, and we've sharpened up this node. Yeah, did all of that with node controller. Also useful on slopes, to make your nodes look nicer on slopes. It can slope the actual node itself, which is lovely. Network multi-tool, fabulous mod this. It combines one or two older mods, and also has as you would think, a number of tools. I particularly like the sloping tool with multi-tool, because it allows you to see the grade on a road or a railway. Particularly useful for railways, for checking your grades are within, you know, sensible kind of heights. I also like the unlocking tool that unlocks segments of road that you wouldn't normally be able to change on things like harbours and railway stations and what have you. So yeah, a number of really good features in that one. Parking lot snapping, not much to say about that one. Just if you've got the parking lot roads, it allows you to quickly snap the parking lots to the road. It's just a bit of a quality of life one, that one. Extended managers library, again, this is another dependency mod like Harmony, and I know, for instance, the mod below it particularly requires that one, which is prop anarchy. And this allows us to basically put props anywhere we want and lift them off the ground, like we did with the billboards there. You wouldn't be able to put those billboards off the ground and up there without prop anarchy. Also allows us to resize stuff now, which is a really good feature. I really like that. First person camera, great mod. You can click on vehicles or people or whatever and get their view and follow it around. Great for getting cinematic shots and a nice view around your city. I love that mod. Acme, now this one's a new one to me, and it's basically a mod that allows you to manipulate the camera and stuff. I'm guessing I'll probably mostly use it for getting nice cinematics, but as I say, I haven't really got to learn that one myself as yet, so I'll be taking a look at that myself in coming time. Right, where are we up to? Dynamic resolution. This basically just upscales your resolution and gives you a bit of a sharper picture. Nice little graphical mod. Now, even though the slider can go to 500, I think I'm just going to stick to the 300 myself, which is the recommended. Don't go above unless you've really got a beastly graphics card. Parkify. This basically unlocks your assets from the Park Life DLC and allows you to put them wherever you feel like, basically. Advanced vehicle options. This is a great mod, this, for getting rid of some of the absolutely hideous vanilla nasties, like, you know, the hot dog van and the donut van and what have you. So yeah, you can get rid of them with them and prevent them from spawning into the game. So very useful. Unified UI. That's this one down here, and that basically just allows you to tuck a number of other mods inside it and tidy your desktop up a little bit. So that's all that does. Yet another toolbar that basically just gives us a larger search box. Simple as that. Tree anarchy, much like prop anarchy, allows us to place trees wherever we want and change the amount of trees and the sway factor and what have you. And again, lift them off the ground if we want to. So yeah, love that one. Extra landscaping tools. This is basically a brush to do your landscaping with, but also comes with two really useful features, which is the water tool and the natural resources tool. Now, the water tool allows you to place water sources and create lakes and rivers and what have you. The natural resources tool, that allows you to paint in resources. So I could use a brush to paint in, say, an ore area or an oil area or a forestry area or whatever, wherever I felt like. So yeah, very useful mod. Vehicle selector. See, well, let's come out and have a quick shufty at this one. Easier to show you this one. If I click on a police station, I click on vehicle selector, I can pick a selection of vehicles to use from that and get rid of the vanilla one. So yeah, we really like that mod. What's next? Repaint is another really, really useful mod. If I come out, if I grab a building, I can change its colour, whatever the hell I feel like. We can also use it to recolour networks. So yeah, great mod. Loading screen. Now this is again one of those mods I would recommend anybody who's getting into modding gets this mod. This will generate a report every time you load into the game. It'll give you an idea as well when you do what your RAM usage is and what have you, and will also help you save a lot of that RAM by sharing your textures and meshes and what have you. So yeah, very useful. Also, if you do run into problems, you've got a couple of safe mode load options, and that report that generates very good for finding missing or broken assets. So yeah, a very useful one to have if you're going to do any kind of modding with your game. Forest brush, as you would imagine, it allows you to customize a brush with trees, or indeed customize several brushes. So yeah, that's what that does. Rotterdam road texture, that just kind of removes the nasty feathering effect you get on a road if you lift it off the ground when it's not supposed to be a road that's lifted off the ground. Let me just take a quick sip of my drink. Hang on. Oh, right. Next up, what have we got? Toggle it. This is this one down here with all the letters. Again, this is another mod you can fully customize yourself to get the best out of it. Myself, I've got it set up for various different things, but particularly the ones I like to use are the INC. What I've got set to INC, which is for the information views, the automatic information views that pop up when you select certain items, and you get like that, it suddenly turns all white or pale green depending on what you've selected. Toggling that will stop that happening. On the C one, that's my contour line, so if I want to quickly see heights, I can click on that and I can toggle the height map on and off quickly. So yeah, very, very good quality of life mod that. Bob, the prop and 3D replacer, beautify our builds. Great little mod this. Very good for just removing stuff from almost any asset in the game. So you go, oh, I don't like that bit of fence, or I don't like that tree that's in there. Or particularly what I use it for is removing parking spaces that often seem to be put in odd spots. So yeah, very handy mod. Compatibility report. Now I would say this should be the very first mod you get before you install anymore. You want this one, because this one will save your life in terms of looking for conflicts, looking for out-of-date stuff, showing you all kinds of information on when it was updated, and we'll look for broken ones and all kinds of stuff. And if you have got broken mods, it'll go, well, maybe you should update to this mod instead, kind of thing. So yeah, compatibility report is a absolute must-have if you're getting any kind of mods. Cinematic camera extended. I love this mod. I basically use it for getting cinematic shots, and what you basically do is set up a flight path for the camera to follow, and that's pretty much the long and short of it. It's for doing that. Ultimate level of detail. Basically it just sets it which distance your LODs for various things pop into being, as it were. A LOD being a level of detail, which is just the less detailed picture of something you get as you zoom out. Intersection marking tool, very, very useful mod. As it sounds, you can mark up intersections, put the lines where you want, put cross hatchings and stuff where you want. But it's also been updated recently, and you can do things like add fences along the side of roads. You can also do things like add bike lanes or bus lanes, for example, to pre-existing roads. So yeah, very, very useful mod. Advanced stop selection, that just basically allows you to pick which side of a metro station or a train station a train will stop at when you're laying down a route for a train or metro stop or that kind of thing. Anyway, hide it. Great little mod, this one. I'm using it to get rid of, say, the disasters button there, and the stupid chirper thing, and the radio button, and tidy a lot of those things up. But also like the seagulls and stuff, get rid of those. But also like those puffs of smoke you get when you're placing trees or bulldozing trees and stuff, which really, really annoying. So yeah, handy little mod, that one. Rendering, basically a graphical mod that allows you to play around with the lighting in the game. This is a great mod, this. I love this mod. It allows you to manipulate the game speed and the day-night cycle speed and stuff. So yeah, very, very useful for getting cinematic shots. Transfer manager. Okay, I haven't actually used this mod as yet, but I've seen other people using it, and it's like, yeah, gotta have this mod on the list. So I'll have to be learning this one myself, but basically what it allows you to do is set up logistics lines. So you could say this mine supplies this ore plant, which supplies this glass plant, which supplies this factory, kind of thing. So yeah, very, very useful mod. 81 tiles. Now, if anyone does want to download the save, make sure you've got these two and this set, because the power station's way back there, and without that there'll be no power to the city or water or whatever. Network Anarchy, you may know this is Fine Road Tools and Anarchy, or Fine Road Anarchy. This is the newer version since the updates. Basically allows you to set collision on, set anarchy on, set node snapping on and off. Also allows you to, say a road be elevated or to the ground or into a tunnel, whatever. And allows you to connect at angles where it wouldn't normally with the bending and stuff. So yeah, very, very useful mod, that one. And two others I should mention, which don't appear in the list because they don't have any settings. First one, theme mix, and we do have our custom mix, which is in the collections and stuff. And then the other one is just another dependency mod that doesn't appear in the list because it's got no settings, and that's custom animation loader, because we will be using some assets with custom animations as we go along. Right, and I think that's us done. So it just remains me to thank you all for watching. We'll be back in a couple of days when we get something built up here for a nice feature build. Oh, look at that, we got a fire. What a surprise. YouTube videos and fires in City Skylines are ubiquitous, aren't they? So yeah, that just remains, as I say, to thank you all for watching, and to say, yeah, don't forget to do all that good stuff, like, comment, subscribe, what have you. And I shall be back in a few days, as I say, with a bit of building, and I hope you all enjoyed the rest of your day, and I hope to see you for the next video.